Well, we are doing Cactus to Clouds. This is the hike all the way to the top of Mount San Jacinto, the most elevation gain of any hike on an established trail in the United States, I believe. Over 2 miles vertically. We have the warning sign, extreme caution, 10 steep miles with 7,000 feet of elevation gain, temperatures ranging from 120 to -12. Wow. I was still talking like the camera was on. Started about half an hour later this time than what I've done in the past. So it's borderline already getting light enough to not need the headlamp, which is nice. There's the city looking out east. Man, look at that shot. Can't see anywhere near where we're going to the summit. You actually can't see the summit really at all the entire hike, because it's sort of flatter and not super prominent or pointy. Eventually you'll be able to see the shelf where the tram goes up to. Round Valley, I think it's called. I might be wrong in that. Round Valley might be higher up, but you can eventually, maybe at mile 4 or 5, see to mile 10 where you're going. But we still got a while. Probably at over 2, maybe 2.5 miles in. We're about an hour in. It's going great. The earliest it's been light on this hike for me. It's gonna, oh look, speak of the devil, rescue box 1. Some water, some sport beans, chips, a Zone Perfect bar. That's for people who are, I don't know, wandering back down in the heat of the day and either get stuck or just so hot, don't have enough water. Sun's getting close to peeking out. Again, you can't see anywhere in terms of where we're going. Ooh, this went up pretty steep section for, I don't know, a good half mile almost. That was definitely over 1,000 feet a mile, that section. There are some easier miles. I forget which ones they are, but I want to say like miles 5, 6 maybe are easier in that you only gain like 500 feet. The sun has risen above the mountains over there. You can see it on the rock face up there. Pretty cool. There's all the windmills down there. Hopefully it starts to warm up a little bit. Well, I just passed 2 groups of 2 guys, and we're finally starting to get our first view up on those cliffs. That's where the tram goes up to, which I believe is called Round Valley. But that marks about 9.5 to 10 miles in, and then you get a little rest. Well, then it's easier the last 5.5 up to the summit. We've been on an incredibly flat section and even going downhill now. You can see there's all these little hills in the foreground before you eventually start climbing the big one to get up to the shelf. So we're going down right now. By the way, I didn't get in until like 12:40 last night. I was getting tired driving. And I woke up at 4:15, set the alarm. I actually So I only got like 3.5 hours of sleep, but I did sleep perfectly. The temperature was perfect in the car, like around 70 maybe, upper 60s. I had a towel as a blanket, but I didn't wake up once. I fell asleep immediately and didn't wake up until my alarm. So getting closer to those big cliffs we got to go up. Past a group of 4 or 5 people resting, and then a solo guy too, who was moving decent pace, but I caught him and he stopped right at the people, maybe to talk to them, maybe to put sunscreen on, I don't know. But yeah, whew. So just crested that little one, traversing. You see we got another potential drop, crest another thing. Well, we've hit this rock that says Palm Springs 5 miles. I don't know exactly what that means, because it's more than 5 miles. We've come probably 6 miles at least, probably a little more. So I don't know, I was always perplexed by that rock. Rescue box 2. Water, Coke bar, snacks, cranberry health mix, all sorts of good stuff. So anyway, flat rock, next checkpoint. It's getting warm. See the white building up there? That's where we gotta go. And this is, I believe, right here, flat rock. So it's time for me to put sunscreen on. Yep, this is flat rock. Very aptly named. So it is 7:29, so it took like exactly 3 hours to get here. So flat rock, I'm gonna put my sunscreen on, hopefully 4.5 to the ranger station, and we could make it in 6.5 maybe, but that might be wishful thinking. So check in later. So working our way up the first steep mile. The first one's through this like shrubland, little manzanita. At first it was like steep. It sort of gets a little switchbacky, still very steep. But this mile you might gain, I don't know, 1,400. I feel like the second one's a little steeper from my memory, or maybe you're just fresher for this one, I don't know. You can see the trail going up. So I took a 7-minute break, put sunscreen on, drank some of my Powerade, put on my hat, sun gloves. Then I actually went the wrong way up briefly. Cost myself a couple minutes. It's okay though. So you can't see the trail from below because it's hidden in the shrubs, but weather's perfect so far, knock on wood. So we transitioned. Oh, that mountain has a little snow on it out in the distance, wherever it is. We transitioned out of the manzanita shrub and got into the sort of typical higher elevation California rocky big pine terrain. And I just looked at the map, and we're over halfway up the steep part. We only have a little over 1,000 feet left to gain up to the notch, Grubbs Notch, and the ranger station. Look, Palm Springs is right down there. It's like you could just touch it. Look at these impressive pines. All right, stop recording until I get near the notch. So that's Kaufman's Crag that you see, that rock formation. You can see that from way down. But once you get to that level, I think there's only like a quarter mile or a third of a mile left up. Definitely steep the rest of the way. Still got, I don't know, 800 feet to gain. Maybe a little less. Big steps. And there we have Kaufman's Crag. Probably the best view we have of it. I got a little off trail and above the trail. This is it. This is just the notch. Mind you, still a long way till the summit. Da, da, da. Made it to Grubbs Notch. 9.5 miles, 8,000 feet of climbing. This is called Long Valley, by the way. The Long Valley Ranger Station. I don't know. There's some other valley up higher that I was calling it. And now I don't even remember the name. But yeah, I had to take a longer way. They were doing construction on the trail, so I had to swing around and add 1/10 of a mile or so. It is like a good quarter mile, maybe even more, 0.3, 0.4 mile walk over from the notch over to here. So I get my permit, eat a snack, probably get a little more water. I don't know how much I really need. I've reached the junction. We're headed up to Round Valley, Wellman Divide, and San Jacinto Peak. This says 4.2 to the peak. I think it's actually slightly less than that, but I think that's sort of worst case. As you can see, we're just sort of meandering through the woods. It's pretty easy. I mean, it's got to go. We still got, I don't know, maybe 2,000 feet to gain. But over 4 miles, you know. That's not too bad. I want to make sure I wasn't supposed to make the left there, so I'm going to check the map. We are hitting Wellman Divide. Basically a saddle where we can see over. I don't know where the best point to look over is. Probably up on those rocks. You can see over the other direction. Thought there was a sign somewhere. Oh yeah, it's up there. 9,700, I think. So we got 11 or 1,200 to the summit. No one up here. Past 2 times there have been 10, 20 people here. Look at that view. Let's see what the sign says. San Jacinto Peak, 2.7. So halfway up, or over halfway up, I guess, barely. We're only like a quarter mile down, but this is what it's like. This shrubby trees. We literally just contouring along here forever, going up, and then we'll hit a hairpin and go back the other way and eventually make it. You can't see the summit, but you can see where we have to go up there. It's a cool little point. Well, here's this little hut. That means we're almost at the summit. Past two other section hikers of the PCT. They're coming up here. And one guy was on his way down. So someone else did summit. Oh well. Hopefully no one else is up there. It's the last little bit where it gets a little bouldery. I'm feeling this altitude. Woo. Look at this, above the clouds. You can see everything. Palm Springs way down there. That might be San Gorgonio that you see over there. Oh man. Yeah, that's got to be San Gorgonio, I think. Oh wow, and then out in the distance, I don't know if you can see it, more snow-capped peaks. I don't know what that is, because that's west. Ugh. Not Baldy, but oh, I forgot to check the time. I made it up in 6:41 actually, which I'm very happy with. I think I could do it again and probably hit under 6.5. There were probably about 20 minutes total of stop time in that 6:41. So not too bad with 10,500, 10,600 foot of gain. So a little nippy up here. I'm gonna take some pictures and then make it down. Hopefully the tram's running. I'm inside the tram station. There's a little gift shop. It's actually pretty nice in here. I don't know if the restaurant's open. First time I did this, I got a beer though after it was done. I was also dead after the first time I did it. I feel fine now. There's the 8,000 foot drop. It actually might be less than 8,000 feet because the road comes up.
You guys didn't pull up here. Come on, move around the car so we can
The thing spins, so you can see it.
Come on in, everybody.
We have better views as it moves.
Free to the city's
We're dropping.
Closer to us, to the right of our track, is the city of Palm Springs. Going farther to the right of our travel is the city, French Garage, Indian Wells. And it's your last chance.
We dropped 4,000 feet in about
some of that red,
I don't know, 8 minutes.
This really is so wonderful. Down here.
how lush it is down here.
Depending on the time of